Before using the DakStats volleyball software for the first time, Daktronics suggests a few simple steps to help make in-game use easy and efficient. Be familiar with the program. It is highly recommended that users take time to familiarize themselves with the program before game time. Some helpful hints include practice taking stats while watching game film, identify the location of buttons associated with the most common plays, print out a play-by-play report from a demo match, and then re-enter it to learn what buttons and steps were used to follow the play-by-play action. It is also important to have a good spotter. The spotter is the person who watches the games and tells the operator the plays as they happen, so the DakStats operator can concentrate on entering stats rather than looking back and forth between the game and computer screen. Having a spotter who pays close attention to the game and has a good understanding of the game will help the user more quickly enter data into the DakStats volleyball program. It is also helpful to have pens and paper handy in case the operator falls behind entering stats or if there are any technical difficulties. You are now ready to begin using DakStats volleyball. Go to File, Open Match. In the Open Match window, select the correct season and match and click OK. The user can also open a match from the main DakStats volleyball screen by double-clicking the match listed in the Schedule section. If a certain match does not appear in the list, return to the Configure Matches in Game screen to make sure the match was created in the correct season. Once the match is opened, users are able to begin entering statistics into the DakStats volleyball program. Play-by-play mode is the recommended mode of operation, as it allows the user to enter plays as they happen. Operators are able to input stats by selecting game commands and then enter specific information when prompted. Prompts will default to the most common choice. The play-by-play screen is available to users throughout the match and remains available when the match is finished. The user can enter plays using the keyboard only, mouse only, or a combination of keyboard and mouse. To use the mouse to enter plays, click on the play buttons and then click on the appropriate players under the roster tab on the entry screen. To use the keyboard to enter plays, select the play buttons by typing the letter underlined on the appropriate button and then type the player's number. Operators tend to use a combination of both mouse and keyboard shortcuts to enter plays during a game. Before beginning the match, the players and positions for each team should be assigned. Click the Substitutions button or the Subs tab to begin entering starters. Select the appropriate team by clicking the team name buttons on either the left or right hand side of the screen. Enter the starting lineup for each team, either by typing in the players' numbers or by clicking on the names in the roster list. This same screen is used for making substitutions later in the match. Since every volleyball match begins with a serve, the Serve tab becomes active once the starters are assigned. Select the team that is serving by clicking the team name buttons on either the left or right hand side of the screen. Enter the number of the player that served the ball, either by typing in the player's number or by clicking the player in the roster or starter list. Next, select the type of serve. Zero serve is the most common type of serve and is the default selection. With this type of serve, play continues as the serve was neither an ace nor an error. If the serve resulted in an ace, select ace. Enter the result of the serve. For example, select Team Receive Error and then click or press Enter, and a point will be recorded for the serving team. If the serve resulted in an error, which typically occurs when a serve goes out of bounds or into the net, select Error. Click or press Enter and a point will be recorded for the receiving team. The following actions describe what happens after a serve is received. First, enter the player who received the serve in the Reception By text box. If the player successfully played the ball up, ensure the Reception button is selected. Click or press Enter. After a serve and reception, the attack sequence will follow. Enter the player who set the ball, and then enter the player who attacked the ball. Next, select the type of attack. Choose zero attack if the attack did not end the play but was dug by the defense. Choose kill if the attack was unreturned by the opposition or led directly to a block error. Click or press enter to record the point. Choose attack error if the ball was hit into the net, out of bounds, or blocked down the court. Click or press enter to record the point. Choose BHE or ball handling error when the player receives an error attempting to handle the ball. Click or press enter to record the point. After selecting zero attack, select the defensive play. If the receiving team successfully played the ball up, choose dig and enter the player number that made the dig in the defense by text box. Click or press enter to continue the action for the other team. If the receiving team blocked the attack, select block. Enter the player number or player numbers that were involved in the block. Click or press enter to record the point. When a player comes in from the bench to substitute for a player on the floor, right-click on the number of the player coming out. A list of players not currently in the game will appear. Select the player coming in from the list. It is important to note that when liberos check in and out of the game, do not actually use the substitution screen to sub. Instead, leave the original player in the game, but assign any relevant stats to the libero either by typing in the player's number or by clicking on the player's number or name in the full team roster on the right. In the event that a player, coach, bench, or crowd gets a yellow or red card penalty, select the Card tab. Next, select the card color and select who the card was handed to. If the card was handed to a player, enter the player's number in the penalty by text box. Click or press enter. In rally mode, every serve can result in a point. With rally mode disabled, only the serving team can score a point. To change rally scoring, select the Rally tab. Toggle rally mode on or off by selecting on or off. Rally mode is enabled by default. The Edit menu allows users to manually edit stats, rebuild stats, and check for errors. Play-by-play can be edited simply by clicking on a previous play and making the appropriate changes. To edit a play that has already been entered, left-click on the entry in the play-by-play section on the left-hand side of the screen. Once the play is selected, the players involved will turn yellow, along with the Cancel button. Edit the play as necessary and click or press enter to save the changes. To delete a play, left-click on the entry in the play-by-play section on the left-hand side of the screen. Go to Edit, Delete Play. It is recommended that once a play is edited, that the user rebuild the stats. To rebuild stats, go to Edit, Rebuild Stats. Click the Go button to begin rebuilding the entire game. The Game Control menu allows users to start the next game, end a match, balance statistics, swap team sides, and add points to a team's score. Go to Game Control Balance or click the icon at the top of the application screen to have DakStats Volleyball ensure statistics are properly balanced. A green check mark indicates stats are correctly balanced, while a red X indicates a statistical disagreement. Go to Game Control Swap Teams to swap the possession between teams. Go to Game Control Point to add a point to the active team score without crediting stats to players. At the end of a game, go to Game Control Start Next Game to begin the next game. Starters will automatically be cleared out at the beginning of a new game. Users must enter the starters for each new game. At the end of a match, go to Game Control Match Finished. The DakStats program will ask the user to update the team win-loss record or game duration. Click No to skip the screen, or click Yes to update the information. If Yes is clicked, the game information screen will appear. The user can then update any game information shown. Click Done when finished.